Well, hello everyone, and welcome to part 2 of the episode 2 of the ReactOS machine. Uh, Obviously, the install looks very different than it did last time. Yeah, I intentionally set it to this totally usable resolution. Nope, not at all. For some reason, all the cards I have are missing their plate panels for the front. The one that showed the most promise is this X series card. You can't see it. Now you can, maybe. It uses the same thing as this one. When I installed the drivers for this one, a lot of icons went missing, but it was still working. And when I installed the drivers for this one, it completely destroyed the system. Like, even safe mode wasn't working. Nothing was working. And when I install the drivers on this system, it gives me this resolution. And I even got ATI Catalyst to work, which is fantastic, but it didn't matter, because even after I installed the driver, it still failed to initialize, it says. Of course, I'd really rather like to have a panel. I do have a couple of cards. I do have one NVIDIA, and I've lost the panel for it as well. See, it's a low profile, and it has no fan, so it overheats over a small period of time, which is kind of unusable. This is usable. It's passive cooled, not ideal, but hopefully in a case like that has so much airflow, hopefully it can stay cool enough, because the CPU cooler is going to be blowing right down directly onto this side of the circuit board. Just enough air to hopefully keep it cool, I guess, and maybe enough airflow across that. I don't know. But I'm going to see if I can find the drivers for this, put it on my flash drive. Oh, and also, when this happens, hey, we can actually might be able to get somewhere. But I don't think it matters too much, because we aren't getting anywhere with this card anyway. Hey, is it actually going to shut down? Why are you just now shutting down? You wouldn't do it worth a flip a while ago. Whatever. So, now you know what I am up against. Yeah, this card is probably just a little bit too powerful. This other one probably is going to be just right. But of course, I'm missing one of the things. Doesn't matter. I put a screw here because the bracket was also trying to fall off of this one. I wonder why. So I guess I have to put it in the system. And we'll try so desperately to fiddle with the drivers for this stupid card. Let's see if we can get somewhere. Okay, so for those wondering, I have tried literally every graphics card I have in my trailer. I have tried this one, which just completely crashes the whole computer with a blue screen. And then you have issues like this. Both this card, Radeon 7000, and a Radeon X1000 series, both of them do this. I have Catalyst installed, and this still happens for some reason. It tries to access this. I've tried placing that DLL, replacing it in the System32 folder. It still doesn't work. And I have literally no idea why. I've tried drivers for Windows 2000 for the card that's in there now, the X1000 series. Still isn't working. And it actually goes through and installs, otherwise it does nothing. I've tried. I have been able to get this card to install the drivers and not do this stupid crap here, where the resolution is just so unusable. I mean, look at this. Opening recycle bin. That's what it looks like. I can't do anything with that. I have literally no idea. it just so happens all of my graphics cards that have these plates on them are ATI. And apparently ATI cards just do not like ReactOS. Now, let me see here. No, they weren't actually in here. I do have one NVIDIA card and one more ATI card. I believe this is my NVIDIA card. It'll have a fan on it. I probably do need to put one or try to swap a heatsink on there. I have this one here, which is an ATI Rage 6. Let me see here. ATI Rage 6, 32 megabytes. So this is weaker than the Radeon 7000 in terms of memory. Then I have this, which is PCI TV graphics card. Probably had on my mother's computer way back in the day when it died. So I need to put some sort of fan on this. And maybe stuff this in there and see what we got with ReactOS then. It turns out I have two NVIDIA cards. The card I thought was an NVIDIA card is currently in the ReactOS machine. But of course, I thought, well, maybe I'm missing the plate for this one, which is very disappointing. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to find it anymore, but, you know, I had an idea, what if I smack this up here, like this? But unfortunately, I don't have any Mighty Putty to hold it in place. So that's kind of out of the question right now, and this is powered by Molex pass-through cable. These are pretty neat little fans to have if you're playing around with crap like this. But I do have something similar to this. GeForce FX 5500. Apparently, what's the RAM on this one? 256 megabytes. Dang, that's actually more than the Radeon 7000. It's 64 megabytes, and it's passive cooled. But of course, there's a catch here with this thing. It's AGP. I don't have AGP on this motherboard, or at least I don't think I do. I'll try it and see. Let me check real quick. Just make sure, but I doubt that this will fit. Okay. So I just checked, and yeah, there is no AGP slot on this motherboard. So that's disappointing. In fact, I don't have any computer with an AGP slot. Not unless a Mac has these, then maybe I might have a Power Mac G4, but this probably wouldn't even work. Now, you're probably looking at this and saying, what does this have to do with anything? Are you going to try to take the bracket off of this one and put it on this one? Or, well, not exactly. You notice how this one doesn't have a fan? This one does. And even the plugs are the same. I just swapped them over. Pretty much the exact same spot. Coolers has the exact same post. I can take them like this, line up the posts on each side like that. And they touch each other. Yeah, they're the same cooler. I should be able to take the cooler off this one, put it on this one, take the one off this one, put it on this one. That's the plan. Let me go grab some pliers. It went through. Let me try the same on this one. There we go. And we twist. I said twist and twist. There we go. That's a big freaking CPU die. Yeah, that's weighs literally nothing. I could probably zip tie another cooler on here. We can make this passive cooled. What do you all say? Should we try that? Or should we just slap this on there, call it a day? I have another cooler laying over here, but it's a little bit too big. Let me go see what I can find. I do have the cooler from the 7000. cooler from the 7000 would line up, but then I couldn't put this one on there if I needed to for a fan. Actually, there is a power port, but it isn't the same. Let's go ahead and put the peg back in. There we go. This is what it looks like. Looks like thermal paste did a good job of spreading out. Let's go ahead and lift up. There we go. So now we go ahead and, for now, what I'm going to do, you can see the dust on the motherboard. That's a cool CPU design. Cooler design. What do you think? Looks like I can take it apart and clean it. If this works, I will take this card back apart, repaste it, and clean it. But for now, I'm just going to smack this on there and hope the fan can keep up with its cooling and that old thermal paste. And then we'll just smack this on here for now because, well, I don't need it. I don't even have a computer that runs AGP. And when I do, I can smack this in it, see if it works. And wow, that looks kind of ugly with that cooler on there, not going to lie. But maybe, if I need to, I can epoxy this fan on there. And that'll look significantly cooler, don't you all think? Card's finished. I didn't put any thermal paste on it, but hopefully it's enough to keep it cool. If it is, I will take it apart, clean it all up nice and good, and also make sure this fan works as well. And then, after that, we'll take this bracket here, smash it on this card, slam it into the system, if it works with the ReactOS machine. Fingers crossed it does, because this is my last hope. But what we're going to do, before we just smash it in and try to smash drivers on ReactOS, what we need to do, or consider doing, is use something like ParrotOS to confirm our suspicions. So I'm going to load up into ParrotOS, make sure it says what this card is, because I have no idea what this card actually is. I'm just trying to remember what this thing was a long time ago. And we'll see. Hopefully ParrotOS tells us it is an FX5200, and if it is, we're in luck, because I have Windows 98, ME, 95, I think, even drivers for that, for ReactOS to play with. And if it doesn't like that, I have 2000 and XP drivers for it to play with. So the fan for that graphics card isn't working, so I have a small desk fan blowing on it. Lovely. So here we are. No more surprises this time. What is this freaking card? If it's another freaking ATI card, I'm going to lose my cool. Bingo! Exactly what it's remembered it being. FX5200. Okay, so let's go back to ReactOS, see if we can install drivers. If we can, I found a small heatsink we can try zip tying to the card. Yes, zip ties. If that doesn't work, we can go back to this old cooler because it's bigger, or see if we can get that fan to work. I don't think we are. But I have a Intel stock cooler fan laying around. Something I can just lay this on the bottom of the case, plug this into the motherboard because I do have spare headers, and have this blow up onto the GPU. That's my plan anyway. Okay, so, well, that's not surprised. It's going to complain about the ATI crap I installed. I could never get that installer to work. So, let's just go straight for Windows 2000 and XP drivers. I could never get the installer like this to work. I always had to install it manually, and when I did, it would just break. Okay, this is working too well. I'm getting nervous. Operation completed. Uninstall error. Error success. Operation completed successfully? I'm just going to screenshot that for a video thumbnail. Uninstall error. Operation completed successfully. Is it going to? I don't think it's going to. I'm going to have to force it to. Okay. Oh, the agony. I've been on this like since 8 o'clock this morning, and it's 1:15. That's how desperate I've been to get some sort of graphics driver working here. And now I'm so desperate, I basically have to build a freaking graphics card from scrap now. And have some sort of cooling solution for it. I was hoping that this stupid fan I put on there would work, but no. It's either locked up or the bearings have failed or something. Okay. NVIDIA 12KXP setup.exe. Get out. Okay. So it appears that isn't going to work. Big surprise. Not. Okay, last straw. Antivirus should be disabled before continuing. Well, I mean, at this point I would consider ReactOS to be a virus of itself. But if you can get Windows ME software, it should run on ReactOS perfectly fine. That's always been the rule of thumb. ME, I doubt you actually just worked that quickly, that well. I doubt this is going to work. There's no way. It's just going to load up. I'm going to have it recognize FX 5200 as the graphics card. It's just not going to happen. It's going to complain. It's not going to work. It's going to blue screen. Well, it hasn't thrown up yet. That mouse doesn't work. My mouses don't work. That apparently happens after you install. Oh, shut up. can't do anything without a mouse, for crying out loud. Really? It does that sometimes. Where you start up ReactOS, I plugged in a second mouse thinking, oh, well, maybe it's just a problem with this mouse here. No, both mice are dead. That's why they recommend you use PS2, because PS2 don't have those issues. I must say, this bracket feels nice to just hold in my hand. Like, for those of you that have actually held a PCI bracket in your hands before, they don't feel too great. This was just a placeholder PCI bracket, and it feels terrible to hold in your hands. This actually feels pleasant. I'd like to know what material this is and what finish they use. Shut up. No. Moment of truth, everyone. Will it say standard VGA driver or FX5200? You little... I knew it went way too fast. Nope. Whoa! Okay, well, says it was a success. Let's go ahead and restart. Maybe it'll work. I don't know. Oops. Will it say? I doubt it does. I'm just sick of this. Like, I'm actually feeling sick. Actually feeling sick. Because nothing's working. I mean, yeah, we got it to install. I just don't have a freaking graphics card that works with it. I have 4 graphics cards. 4! 2 PCIe, 2 PCI. All of them from different eras. Different types. Different things. The only one I haven't tried yet, and I can't freaking find... I can barely find drivers for it at all. Is ATI Rage 6. Considering I already have a bracket for it, I may even already have a fan. Maybe we should try putting this one together. Maybe, just maybe, an ATI Rage 6 will be what we need. I'm out of ideas. Well, that is it, everyone. This is all I can do about getting a graphics card on the ReactOS machine. I mean, I pulled out the big guns. I pulled out the little guns. And with no avail. I've tried every single graphics card I can try. And to add salt in the wound, I actually do have one card that will work. What's the catch? Look closely. See how those pins are staggered? See how these pins are straight? This is an AGP card. ReactOS supports the GeForce FX 5500. This exact card is supported by ReactOS. Well, just swap it into a AGP system. You know, it can't be that hard, right? Well, I don't actually have any functioning AGP systems. In fact, you want to know the bitter truth? Do you really want to? That case down there that the ReactOS machine is in, this card came out of it because the motherboard was trashed. This was the graphics card in that machine, but I can't use it because that motherboard doesn't have AGP. So, this means in the future, if I get an AGP machine that would be happy with ReactOS, it would in theory work. But for now, I'm going to swap these coolers back over because this fan was not working. And, like, just to show you, okay, let's go to the official ReactOS website and see what graphics cards are supported. Just for proof, because I can't actually put this on a machine. There you go. So, for those of you wanting to know how to get to it, ReactOS supported hardware. You can see I've done this before. I just didn't read up on it until now. And you can click on the supported hardware here, or you can go straight to where you want, which we would go to video cards, but just in case you don't get that option, there you go. This is the regular supported hardware. We're going to go to video cards. We don't need to worry about network, because that works. Sound card isn't important right now. Okay, this is what it means. So if we go to OpenGL, and we sort by top, the ones that work, you know, GeForce 6600, 7300, 8400. I think I'm actually going to end up buying this one here. And we have the, and look at this. What do we see down here? What do we see down there? NVIDIA GeForce FX 5500, 256 megabytes of RAM. Yep, 256 megabytes of RAM on this card here. AGP, yep, that's an AGP card, and used NVIDIA ForceWare 175.19, works with native driver. This is the problem I've been having with all of these ATI cards. Literally, none of them support the native driver, and if you install it manually, the system just hates it. So, if we want Return to Castle Wolfenstein, we need OpenGL. And these are the cards we have to choose from. And of course, it's pure agony. I spent hours with all those other cards trying to forcibly get them to work. Windows XP drivers, Windows 2000 drivers, Windows ME drivers, Windows 98 drivers. And I have a card in my collection.